Short-term U.S. interest rates haven't budged, but creditors are actually increasing interest rates on credit cards. Why would that be? MarketWatch put out this article, why your credit card company might jack up your card's APR even when the Fed holds rates steady. Now, the short-term interest rates are usually used as a benchmark for creditors on where they should put their interest rates at for the debt that they lend out, like on their credit cards. But across the United States, creditors aren't actually doing that. In fact, on their regular credit that they're putting out to the average consumer, they're actually slowly raising those interest rates. The Fed hasn't actually changed the interest rate since December of 2024, and they actually kept it the same last week when Jerome Powell came out and said that he wasn't going to change the short-term interest rate. So the point is why are the credit card companies increasing that when nothing's really changing with the interest rate? Because you would think that they would raise them if those interest rates went up, and maybe they would lower them if the interest rates went down, or at least that would be traditional thinking. But the reason why they're doing this is because it might be a sign that we're headed into some turmoil based off of where the economy is going. So they're prepping themselves to make sure that they can get those higher interest rates locked in for people to pay on. And or if those interest rates end up rising in the future or lowering in the future, they'll have a higher interest rate. But more importantly, this is usually an indicator, or could be an indicator, that the credit card companies are foreseeing that we're going to be going into some type of recessionary environment. So what are some of the things that you could do? Well, one of the things that you could do is make sure that you're focusing on a long-term generational wealth plan, because these things are always going to go like this. And unfortunately, we don't have control over what the government or companies specifically do. One of the things that you could also do is to stop carrying credit card balances, pay it off in full every month, and prioritize any high interest debt so that you're not putting yourself into a difficult position in the future. You can consolidate or refinance credit card debt. I've done that multiple times, and I'm not endorsed by Lending Club, but I have been a Lending Club, consumer or customer for many, many years. And if you need to consolidate debt, I highly recommend looking into them, because that's what I've done in the past. One of the things that we try to teach in our 3T Warrior Academy is to never ever use credit card debt for purchasing stuff that you want or things that are like consumer goods, right? Now you can purchase them, but as long as you pay them off, that's really where you want to get to. You don't want to hold any of that debt. Where you really want to use debt is leverage to buy other assets that are going to create cash flow for you into the future. So if you're interested in learning more about that, head on over to 3T Warrior